Now, welcome to another rewatch, re-review of Andor, episode 12 from season 1, Rick's Road.
Oh, it was a heavy finale. It was a great finale. We start off by seeing Dedra show up on Ferrix with some Death Troopers in tow, waiting to trap Cassian. We keep getting flashes, meanwhile, of Woman building what looks to
A
be a
device of
bomb.
some kind, yeah.
Somewhat,
Which may
yes.
or may not explode.
Brasso is told by the radio operator, "Hey, I spoke to Cassie and he knows about the funeral. He might be thinking about showing up." And then we see that Nurchi overhears Nurchi, who we saw from like episode 1,
Yeah.
who Cassian owed money to. And then he's like, "Hey, radio operator, let's get a drink together. If you know anything about Cassian coming back, don't tell me. Let's get you another drink, buddy."
And another.
We get to see Mon, knowing that her driver is a plant, mind you, returning from some event with Perrin, and they are in a conversation about his gambling.
I love that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Because Perrin is playing it like, I have no idea what you're talking about because he doesn't. Though maybe he is really gambling, which would be the really funny part about it.
Honestly, in this situation, I feel bad for Perrin because he's the one telling the truth and she's the one lying.
She's lying, yeah.
She's using him and his past behaviors to cover her current behaviors to try and throw the ISB off the scent.
Yeah, and then we do see later on the driver reporting back that there's some gambling going on, and they're buying it hook, line, and sinker.
Next, we see Vel come to Ferrix, but Cinta's too busy to like see her off the helipad or whatever.
The helipad, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever is right.
You know, she's too busy for her because even though it hurts Vel, she knows what's more important here.
The rebellion.
What's more important to Cinta.
Yeah.
Cassian's back on Ferrix. He goes to visit Clem's stone. Because as we know, when you pass away on Ferrix, stone to sky, meaning your body goes into a stone and you leave a sky-type message for the people who you leave behind, to inspire them, to lift them to the sky. It's actually a beautiful message.
It's kind of cool. It's very creative world building with Ferrix. Ferrix is so well done. It feels like it could have been just a real culture somewhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Then Cassian goes to find out that Bix was taken. He is not pleased.
No, he's not.
Not pleased. We get to hear some of Nemec's manifesto in the background as Cassian is preparing for what must be done. He's got the manifesto. I think he leaves it behind on this ship as well.
Yeah, I think he does.
And he really seems to be listening to it now.
I think he is. I think he's understanding.
Discounted it on Aldhani.
Yeah, he's starting to get on board with the cause, finally. Not just the selfish, I need some credits and I'm going to go hide somewhere.
That this is bigger than him and that he can do his part, yeah. Back at the ISB, they're celebrating because Krieger, they fell into the trap. No survivors, no prisoners. Dedra's upset, but Patagas says they are sending a message.
And making Palpatine happy.
Yes, because this was their response for Aldhani. This was their moment.
The taste out of Palpatine. I'd imagine Palpatine angry is not a pleasant thing to have to deal with.
No.
That's an understatement, yeah.
We go back to Ferrix, and Brasso has met up with Cassian. Cassian is upset. Cassian is blaming himself. Brasso goes, "Marva said you would say that he is supposed to pass on Marva's message, literally, that she made for Cassian, saying, this is what he'll say. Tell him.
This is what he'll say, and this is what you're supposed to say. And then he'll say this. And
tell him it isn't his fault. He is just the spark of the fire. Cassian will be an unstoppable force for good, and that she loves him more than anything he could do wrong." It's a beautiful thing that she knew what would happen. She knew he'd blame himself because he came back for her and she didn't go, and he's thinking, there could have been a way. I should have made her come. Yeah. I could have gotten her out of here. We see that Mosk and Cyril have arrived on scene as well. They have a little scene. You see them coming into town. They switch hats. I assume one of them fits better. Yeah, Mosk must know the proclivities of Cyril.
My theory is they were on set. They didn't know that the camera was even rolling, and they're like, well, this hat fits me better than it fits you, and they just swapped them and didn't think anything of it, and it got captured on camera. I mean, I could be wrong.
It's interesting. It's just very interesting.
It's a funny little scene, and it doesn't really serve the story at all, so it makes me feel like...
I think it's just because we know that he always has his suits tailored.
Yeah, you're right.
Air about him that he needs to feel put together the right way, and I think Mosk, knowing that, was like, here, this is the hat.
You're right. It could be that, but it just feels so strange and awkward that you almost feel like they were just on set and like, hey, do you think this hat would work better for you?
Maybe it's a hat that's more reminiscent of what he wore last time he came to Ferrix.
Could be, yeah.
Luthen checks on in with Vel. He's more than happy to let the ISB catch Cassian, as long as they kill him before he says anything. They'll let them do the work, right? And then the anvil sounds. The funeral begins at the time the people wanted, not the time the ISB set for them. They said they wanted it at noon. We pushed it back to 2 o'clock. Well, they said no, we were going at noon. We were capping it at 40 people. They're like, no, this is Ferrix. She was important to this community. We do what we want. So the procession begins. It is beautiful. It's haunting. It feels real. Like you can actually feel the grief. You can feel that it's an in-town thing. I mean, this isn't professional Star Wars music playing over procession.
Yeah, it's not John Williams leading
this is
the London
feet
Symphony
on the
Orchestra.
ground, recorded live because these people were there. They played it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
No, again, Ferrix is some of the best world building in the history of Star Wars, and that says something when you're going toe to toe against George Lucas, who was quite the world builder himself.
They made such a real location.
Yeah, it feels like a real place. That's why it works so well, and the people feel real, and they feel like they are attached to the place, and it's so well done.
Cassian in his hiding spot spies Luthen in the crowd. He knows why Luthen is there. He sees him. He's like, there's only one reason that man would be there.
To kill
I'm
me.
not supposed to be alive. I'm a liability to him.
Yeah.
Nurchi then enacts his plan to betray them and say, hey, I know where Cassian is. I know where he's hiding out right now. Go get him. I want more money, by the way.
Yeah, well, he's going to get a face full of explosions and glass. But
I love the scene where you see Cyril see Dedra across the crowd, and he's like, tries to immediately go to her, and Moska's like, where are you going? The crowd, the Imperial's like, you can't go past there. It's just like, whoa, that's the power of love right there.
That is.
The funeral procession, they switch the tempo of the song, they switch the beat, and it really looks like they are marching to war.
Well, they kind of are. They're marching. They are. Yeah, I don't know that they know that necessarily. I don't know if that's the plan or if the speech, Marva's little farewell lift up words, fuel it or spark it, and they're kind of maybe thinking about it. I don't know.
The speech begins as Cassian enters the hotel to try to find Bix. Her speech is so well done. It emphasizes that no matter what the Empire did, no matter how the galaxy was, Ferrix was the community that had each other. So they could ignore what was happening across the universe, across the galaxy, because they had each other. And that was what mattered. But then she says, you know what? This is a disease. This disease has spread from the center of the galaxy all the way to us. And that's not acceptable. We have to fight the Empire. And then the Empire makes the first move. They go and they kick over B.
Yeah, and I mean, that all goes back to something I've said in, I think, multiple reviews about how sometimes you can find your own happiness even in the worst of situations, and you can just cling to that happiness in your simple little life and ignore everything else, and that's kind of what Ferrix is doing in a manner of speaking. They have each other, they have this wonderful planet, but then the rust creeps in, and finally they have to rid themselves of the rust.
Exactly. Like I said, the Empire acted first. They tried to stop the recording, they kicked over B. That is what pushed the crowd to act. Would they have exploded the way they did had he not decided to intervene?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's
Probably
the interesting
not.
part. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think the plan was to go and start a revolution or a rebellion. I think they just wanted to prove their point that this is our planet. We're going to do our ceremony. And then they're like, no, you can't. We can't hear this message, or you can't hear it, and they interfere with it. And then it's like Brosso's like, no, you're getting bricked.
It started out non-lethal, though. They were just stunning, dragging people away, doing typical Empire things, until Willman decided, you know what?
I'm going to chuck this bomb.
Chucking my bomb. And it literally sets off a chain reaction, figuratively as well as literally.
Yeah.
Because he happens to throw it where there's a bunch of thermal detonators stored by the Empire. That they had them back there. It sets them all off. It causes a huge explosion. And then
open fire.
The Empire switches to lethal.
Yep.
Brasso prioritizes getting Willman out of there. Cinta takes advantage of the chaos to kill the ISB that she's been watching because she is all revenge.
Yeah, she's all for the cause. That nothing else seems to matter. I mean, yeah, she likes having Val, but it's more about I got to do this first. Otherwise, what does it matter? She's kind of the opposite of the I can find comfort even in the age of the Empire. She's like, nah, I can't do anything.
As long as the Empire exists, I can't.
I can't think about anything or care about anything else until that is dealt with.
Cassian finds that Nurchi is dead. He manages to kill the Death Trooper. He escapes with Bix.
Yeah, he does a little tuck and roll and shoots him.
Dedra, she's in the middle of the fray. She's firing her blaster. She takes a rock to the side of the head, and she falls. The mob descends on her, ready to tear her apart. And then Cyril steps in, picks up a gun, drags her into another little
Shop
out
or
of harm's
something,
way. Yeah. And she is very, very clearly shaken.
Yeah, which I think carries over into season 2.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen her, I think, having a panic attack, and when she's clutching at her neck in the trailer, and people think it's Vader choking her. No, she's
this
messed up from
her.
that experience. Yeah.
Yeah, she knew death was imminent.
Yeah.
Luthen watches on the whole thing. He just watches it very pensively because he's watching this start, and this had nothing to do with him.
Well,
he didn't pull
yes
anything
and no.
behind the string. He pulled Cassian out of there, but he didn't come in here and plant seeds.
Yes, but I mean, the whole thing in Aldhani kind of pushed it to the next level to open the door for this kind of occupation of Ferrix.
So maybe he's seeing
it's kind of a domino effect.
To what he has started.
I think he's seeing everything coming to fruition that he's been trying to do, and it just took this speech from Marva to kind of set off that chain reaction, as you said.
Mm-hmm. The daughters of Ferrix are helping Brasso, Bix, Wilman, and B2 escape, but Cassian does not go with them. He just makes sure that they're getting out of there. And we get to see Mon and Perrin introducing their daughter to the gangster of
gangster of Shangela. Yeah.
Then Luthen returns back to his ship after everything that's gone on. The smoke, you can see Ferrix still burning in the distance, only to find that Cassian is on board. Kill me or take me in. This is Cassian's joining of the rebellion, joining Luthen, putting his life on the line for real.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. I'm already... It's kind of
like
the already dead thing again.
Back in the prison. I'm already dead.
Yep. Everything else here is bonus. If I can... Well, I mean, in a matter of speaking, like, he's already considering himself... I'm now a tool of the rebellion, and if I die, I die. If I live, I live. But I'm going to do what I can to stop the Empire.
Right. But that was the end of season 1. I mean, the season 2 is right around the corner, literally.
Yeah, and probably hours away if you're watching this upon it dropping. It should be a couple hours away. I don't know when I'm exactly going to get this up, but hopefully before the start.
It has to be before the start.
It should be. I should get them both up tomorrow, which is actually today for everybody watching, or maybe yesterday if you're watching it the next day. But you know what I mean. And then, of course, we do have the post-credit scene of the Empire dish the Death Star dish being built with
the pieces of Cassian's labor.
Cassian helped build the Death Star. Now he's going to help blow it up.
It's all full circle.
It's poetry. It rhymes. I had to say it. I gotta say it every time.
Maybe we should be done with poetry.
Maybe we should be done with this video.
Okay.
And that is all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you thought of the finale of Season 1 of Andor. And let's talk some Star Wars. And so until next time, thanks for watching.